Hello, we got some new cards revealed for the upcoming expansion. First up is the Undertaker. 8 mana, 8/5 neutral legendary minion. With the battle cry, gain the Deathrattle effect of 3 friendly minions that died this game. You know, this card makes me realize that there are a lot of really powerful Deathrattles in the game right now. You could use this in Hadronox, a Deathrattle Hunter, even a Deathrattle Rogue. You can even use this to finish off your Mechathune combo. So not only can you use this card to meme, but it seems like it could be very competitive. The thing is though, this card's main value is going to be in the Deathrattles that it gains. And that means you probably want a way to activate it right away to guarantee that you get that value and your opponent doesn't silence it. I think the competitive decks that can take advantage of this already have those in the game, but it still means they need to have some sort of 2-card combo before they can play this. Also, depending on the deck and how many Deathrattles you have, this can be a much later game card. Some decks may be faster and not have time for this card, but others I think could use this card to make a slower, more controlling deck. This is a really powerful card, and I think it can be used in a lot of really good decks. On top of that, I like the design. My only hope is that it doesn't make a deck that's too powerful or too annoying that the meta ends up becoming stale. I'm banking on that not happening, so I'm going to give it to Undertaker my first 10 out of 10. Up next is Linecracker. 7 mana, 5/10 neutral minion with overkill, double this minion's attack. My line of thought when looking at this card is, what will my opponent do when I play this? If I play this on turn 7, are they going to use a single target removal to destroy this? There aren't necessarily any synergies with this card, but it could be an effective threat out on the board. Still, I think this card's going to be below average. It's not good enough where you can just add it to any deck and it makes it better, and it doesn't really seem like it would fit in aggro. Maybe it works in tempo, but definitely not control. In the case of Linecracker, I think there are just better options that are going to see play in front of this. Up next is Bog Slasher, 3 mana, 3/3 Shaman Elemental. With the battle cry, return a friendly minion to your hand and give it +2/+2. I get that you can use it to get value off of other elementals' battle cries, but taking stats off of the board, I don't think it's really worth it. With Grumble, they only cost 1 mana, so you can easily play them again. But with this card, you only get improved stats, so you don't want to use this on a more expensive minion like Calamos. Instead, would you rather use this on a Firefly? 4 mana for a 3/3, a 3/4, and then a 1/2 in your hand. That's not terrible. I can see how you can also use this with Hagatha to get more random spells, and Shaman does have some of the best elemental battle cries, but I think the tempo you lose playing this card isn't really worth those or the 2/2 stats. If they reveal any more elemental synergy for Shaman, then we'll see if Bog Slasher has a good target. Up next is Gonk the Raptor. 7 mana, 4/9 legendary druid beast god. After your hero attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again. And it refers to your hero, so once you attack into a minion, you are able to attack again. Gonk just stays there, he doesn't attack. So yeah, this is pretty trash. This is going to be my first 0 out of 10. I'm giving you the score right now. Like I've said before, there's ways to improve your hero power. Maybe you can use this with the Twig to get the Deathrattle even faster. The only redeeming value I can find from this card is that I like the name and I like the card art, but I think the ability with this card is terrible, and it really doesn't work in a Druid class. Let me know if you think that the hero attacking Druid or the Treant Druid is worse. Regardless, neither of these decks are gonna see play. And next up is Seance, 2 mana priest spell, choose a minion and add a copy of it to your hand. So this is kind of like Zola the Gorgon, but it's just a 2 mana spell. And originally I completely underestimated that card just because it had a meme name, but being able to add another copy of a minion that you choose right to your hand is a super powerful effect. The problem with a card like Baleful Banker is usually you don't want to shuffle them into your deck, you want that value right away. So with Seance, you're able to include 2 spells to get you a specific minion right away. And in a big priest, you can cheaply resurrect a big minion and then use Seance to get another one back in your hand. I think this is a really powerful card for any priest that has a certain minion that they want multiple copies. Whether it's a big priest or a Zarik's cloning gallery priest, this could be a great option to add some specific value to your hand. And up next is Captain Hooktusk. 8 mana, 6/3 legendary pirate for rogue with the battle cry, summon 3 pirates from your deck and give them rush. so I think there are some notable targets for this card. South Sea Captain will buff any of your other pirates, so that's a pretty good one to choose. Ticket Scalper has that overkill effect, so if you're able to give that rush, you guarantee the 2-card draw. But besides that, what are we really looking for? It definitely seems like a powerful effect by summoning 3 minions from your deck, but these are pirates, which while you can specify which ones you pick, they don't really have that many powerful versions. This isn't Katharina Winterwisp. You're going to end up getting 3 mid-range to low-value minions. There could just be 1 or 2 pirates that they reveal that end up making this card worth it. But in terms of the pirates right now, there's nothing that really makes this card consistently playable. Next up is Sightless Ranger, 5 mana 3/4 neutral minion with Rush and Overkill, summon 2 1/1 bats. So in theory, this card with the overkill satisfied, you could end up getting 5-6 in total stats. The thing is though, you're really only dealing 2 damage with the rush overkill, and the stats are distributed between 3 minions, and the 3/4 is also going to be taking some damage. It seems like quite the risk just to get a 5-6. I think combining rush and overkill is a really consistent play. Wherever you see an opening and you're going to be able to satisfy the overkill requirement, then you can just play this and guarantee that value. Still, I think in the case of this card, it's not really amazing value. Maybe you can take advantage of this in a wider board with Token Druid, but I think it's just a little too expensive for it to see play. Up next is Sand Drudge, 3 mana 3/3 priest minion where whenever you cast a spell, summon a 1/1 zombie with taunt. For some reason, this is a really tough card for me to evaluate. On one hand, priest definitely has the spells to summon multiple 1/1 zombies on the same turn. Comboing this with Lyra or Shadow Reaper Anduin, and you got a nice little combo where you can summon 1/1 zombies with taunt to help combat aggro. On the other hand, if your goal is to combat aggro, I'm thinking for 3 mana, wouldn't it just be more reliable to run a taunt like Targ Reaper? How much damage are the 1/1 zombies with taunt actually going to block? And if you can't set up the turns with spells right away, then wouldn't you rather just have something more consistent? I could totally see this being really annoying for aggro opponents. They constantly have to charge into 1/1 zombies, and then the next turn you keep on summoning more. But the thing is, I think the 1/1 taunts just aren't very powerful, and once they get past them, they'll easily kill Sand Drudge and then go for your face. It could definitely buy you some time, but I still think either running board clears or taunts are more consistent. It's not a bad card, but for what it's doing and for the deck it's trying to see play in, I think there are better options. And last up, the most underwhelming card of today is Regenerate. It's a 0 mana priest card that restores 3 health. This is one of those cards that you just don't really add into your deck. Maybe you include it in a Shadow Reaper Anduin deck, but most likely you either discover it or get it off of Lyra. I think it's a really good card in these situations though. It refreshes your Void Form hero power, and it basically lets you heal for free with Lyra. I think you're going to be fairly happy when you do get this card off of Lyra, but it's not going to be one that you actually include in your deck. Those are all of the cards for today. I'll be back tomorrow with some more, but until then, ta-ta.